When aircraft went down over oceans, deserts and jungles during the Second World War, there was no satellite beacon to call for help. Survival depended on whether someone could be seen before exposure, dehydration or injury took its toll. Among all issued survival tools, the signal mirror quietly proved one of the most effective. It required no batteries, no fuel, and no moving parts. Properly used, it could project a visible flash dozens of miles farther than a flare and last indefinitely. World War II aircrew manuals treated mirror signalling not as a backup, but as a primary rescue method. The techniques taught then remain not only relevant today, but often superior to modern assumptions about emergency signalling. WWII survival doctrine trusted mirrors more than radios or flares. Radios failed when wet, batteries drained quickly, and flares burned out in seconds. A signal mirror worked as long as the sun existed. Allied air forces documented thousands of rescues where mirrors provided the first confirmed contact. In the Pacific, downed pilots routinely signaled aircraft that could not hear them and would never have seen a static marker. World War II planners understood that visibility beats audibility at distance. Mirrors created deliberate, unnatural flashes that instantly separated human presence from background terrain. Unlike improvised mirrors, military signal mirrors included a sighting hole or retroreflective mesh right at the center. This clever addition allowed the user to aim the reflected beam accurately, rather than just guessing the direction. The design ensured that when the sun's reflection aligned with the target, the beam would pass directly through the sighting point. This really transformed mirror use from random flashing into controlled communication. Modern survival mirrors still use this principle, because honestly, nothing has surpassed its effectiveness. World War II manuals emphasized intermittent signaling rather than continuous reflection. You see, a steady glint could blend into water glare or snow reflection, making it almost invisible. But a deliberate flash pattern immediately drew attention. Pilots were trained to sweep the horizon slowly and flash in short bursts, pausing between signals. This technique prevented eye fatigue for search crews and, well, made the signal unmistakably artificial. The same method applies today when signaling aircraft, ships, or distant ground teams. One of the most valuable World War II techniques, involved using the shadow of the mirror itself. Aircrew were taught to hold the mirror close to the face and reflect sunlight onto their hand or chest, then tilt the mirror until the reflected spot aligned with the distant horizon or sound source. This allowed accurate aiming even when the target was beyond visual range. And honestly, this method remains essential in modern emergencies, particularly at sea or in flat terrain. World War II records show successful mirror signalling under partial cloud cover, haze and low sun angles. The key was patience and timing. Pilots, would wait for breaks in cloud cover, and instead of fighting against the sun, they'd actually use its movement to their advantage. Mirrors interestingly enough, outperform electronic devices in these conditions because, well, they don't degrade gradually. They either work or they simply don't. And when they do work, they're visible far beyond what the human eye might expect. Honestly. Survivors were taught to position themselves where contrast was maximized. Dark terrain behind the signal improved visibility. Flashing toward cloud layers increased reflection range. In desert environments, signaling toward the sky rather than the ground reduced glare interference. These decisions were tactical, not instinctive. Modern emergencies still benefit from this awareness. Signaling is not only about the tool, but about how the environment amplifies or absorbs the signal. Hikers lost above tree line, boaters without power, and drivers stranded in remote areas can all use World War II mirror tactics effectively. A modern mirror, smartphone screen, or polished metal can substitute, but the method remains the same. Aim deliberately, flash intermittently, and prioritize aircraft or high vantage points. Practicing the aiming technique before an emergency dramatically increases success. World War II pilots drilled mirror use on the ground because skill mattered as much as equipment. Personal locator beacons and phones, well, they fail when batteries die or signals simply can't reach the necessary infrastructure. But, you see, mirrors bypass these vulnerabilities entirely. They require no compatibility, no subscription, and honestly, no signal relay. This is exactly why modern military survival kits still include mirrors. World War II, you know, proved their reliability under the harshest conditions imaginable, and really nothing since has rendered them obsolete. As rescue technology advanced, manual skills were deprioritized. You know, many modern users carry mirrors without knowing how to aim them properly. World War II training treated mirror use as a life-saving discipline, not an accessory. And, well, that distinction matters. Tools do not save lives. Understanding does. These methods were developed under pressure, refined through real rescues, and documented with brutal honesty. They assume fear, injury, exhaustion, and, well, limited time. They work not because they are clever, but because they align with human perception and physics. Light travels far. The eye notices sudden change. Mirrors exploit both. World War II signal mirror tactics remain one of the clearest examples of simple technology paired with deep understanding. They require no modernization, only remembrance and practice. If preserving and applying this kind of hard-earned historical knowledge matters to you, then, well, Relic Logic is the place for it. Subscribe to the channel for more examinations of wartime techniques that still save lives today, and share this episode with anyone who believes the past still has lessons worth carrying forward.